Guys, one thing that it's good that I like to divide each topic into different recording is that sometimes, after the first recording, you kind of remember that is something that you should have said or should have done, and then you can fix that in the second recording. So this is the last time I remember the saying that we have three models of using AIs. But the way I put it is that basically divided people into friend loading and end users. And then actually there's another group that is at least depends on the different surveys. Sometimes you got 20-30%, sometimes even say 50%. Those people, some people, they're just categorically not use AI, generative AI. So this is sad. We should try to move these people into one of the other two categories, which is either you backend users or you friend loading users. Okay. So now with this, so with three types. One is non-users. Number two is back-end users, meaning using the generative AI as a proofreading. Okay, and then number three is the friend loading users. This is the best type. Okay, meaning that we try to make the AI from the very beginning. So we take AI with us from the very beginning all the way to the end. That's the best type. Okay, but now let's look at the last time. Remember, I talked about the backend users. Basically, again, just using the generative AI as a proofreading. I say that that's not a very efficient way of doing this because you're basically using the AI, you underuse it. Okay, you are not leveraging all the powers. Like I said, remember I said that the generative AI is the best encyclopedia we ever had. In terms of comprehensiveness, in terms of accessibility, it's basically to our fingertip. So if you just use that as the backend users, it's not very efficient. So that's the one thing. Now let's look at the number three, the last type, which is the best. It's friend loading. The people started to use that generative AI from very beginning. Now here, for the amount of friend loading people, we have three types. Number one, it's using that generative AI. A good example is to use that as note taking. Okay, so that is you are using the AI from very beginning, but you're using that a very tiny part of it. Okay, so this is almost like the same as the back-ending users. Okay, which is using the AI as the proofreading, but using the AI for the taking note. Yes, it's very important because you can save at least, in the insurance settings that we have used to be when we go to visit in the client and we have an interview, and then there used to be one assistant with taking notes, right? Now with the generative AI, we can do that. There's a bunch of software to do that. So we don't need that liberated one hand, one human hand or two human hands, right? So that's one thing. It's good. Okay. It's good because, we're using the AI from the very beginning, but not good enough. So there are two other types. One is that I call it open-minded, meaning that this guy or this group of people, they don't have any pre-existing ideas in the mind. They just say, okay, AI, okay, ChatGPT or Gemini or, Cloud or Perplexity or Grok, and just to tell me some ideas. Do some, the brainstorming for me, and then idea generation, and then we can go from there. So this is, I call it open-minded. It's good because you are using more power of the generative AI. Generative AI can give you, even if you have nothing to give, they can still generate ideas, and then, you can go from there. So that's one thing. The second type, the third type. Remember the first one, the first group of people who is using the friend loading AI is the use the note-taking software. Okay. The second type is the open-minded. The third type, which is the best, I call them the iterative users. So those guys, they come back and forth. They may start with some idea of their own, or they may have some scenarios or situations that they can bring this to the AI, and then ask AI, say, hey AI, hey ChatGPT, I have some situations, this and this and this, and then now I want you to polish it based on the information. Give me some idea. And then when AI comes back with some responses, this group of people tend to be kind of critical. To be honest, every time I use an AI, I often frequently find myself into a kind of a debating mode. Criticizing the AI's response and say, hey, I think you missed this, I think you missed that, and or the situation that I told you did not take full consideration into that, and then usually the AI will say, okay, sorry, my apology, and then they go from there. So this is kind of a thing, you have some initial input. Either it's based on your own ideas, or you based on some situation or some task, some project that you have. And you can use that as an input into the AI. And the AI will give you the expanded. The next step of expanding the ideas based on your input. Okay, and then we have narrowing down. You ask the number 3 step is the first one is the input. The second step is the expanding. The third step is to narrow down. The final step is to settle down. Okay, so those are the 3 things. That's what I call it iterative, because it takes a few steps back and forth, so that you're almost like arguing with AI and with the ChatGPT. You say, hey, and then to my best knowledge, I think this is the best, because you are integrating human input and the AI ideas, and then you're putting this together. So remember, the AI is an ecosystem. Okay, it itself is an ecosystem, and the human is also an ecosystem. So if we can combine these two together, that will be the best. Okay, so those are the things that I want to say today. Okay, end of it.